Welcome to the Nonsense Chronicles. This is Doug Sashery, and as always, joined by, and once again to my right,
Rob Mendiola.
Greetings, Rob.
Greetings, Doug.
We're stacking them and packing them today, man.
Yeah, busy.
Yeah,
It's a busy day.
It's a busy podcast day.
Yeah.
That's what
That's
happens. Yeah, when you go out of town, you got to rack them and
It's
stack them.
nice
man.
to have so much talent in the house.
That's right. Not us, of course, but
Well, yeah, not you.
well, God,
Speak for yourself, man.
that's painful. But yeah, we are here today with none other than 307 Departure. Hello, gentlemen.
Howdy doody, guys.
Howdy.
Welcome.
Hello.
Kellen, Russ, and Grayson.
Is this the first time we've had all three?
This is.
Yes.
No, we didn't have them at Wildcatters?
No, it's
No.
funny. That's why.
Wait,
Yeah, no, we did.
we did do the Wildcatter.
Yeah.
Absolutely, we did.
They
Rob remembers.
It just didn't last
They
very
are
long.
double. They are double booking.
Double dipping, man.
God damn.
But we did, right? We sat with you
Yes,
guys.
But he's right. I think Josh is right. It was a very quick.
It
like,
was because we
10
had like
minutes per
5
show.
people.
Yeah, we had like
right.
5 different bands we ran through that night. Yeah.
But now we're exclusive with you guys. So.
Right here in the
Yeah.
Nonsense Pod
Exclusive,
right?
Studios.
Exclusive.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, Kellen's been with us on at least one other episode we did
For
on.
like gaming.
Yeah, the video games episode. That's,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
And we like talking video games, man.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I love my video games. That never changes.
Yeah.
No, I've been to your house, so I know that's true. And y'all have been to mine. Fair enough.
There we go.
But yeah, today,
You actually did one at our house.
yeah,
And we
podcast
did. That's
episode.
right. You're
we,
right.
We
the
did.
Farmhouse Fright Fest.
That's
right.
right.
Our Halloween show.
That's
So you're
right.
like triple. See, Doug? Yeah,
We
that's
weren't
old,
on that one.
Old memory going.
I was gonna say we technically didn't participate in that one. It was most of our
Oh,
crew
that's
that was
right.
on that
Yeah.
one, and
That
our
was
dad
like-
and stuff.
Yeah, it was like an all American rejects, like house parties having. They were doing that before.
Okay.
Them, see,
Yeah.
no, it's true. Now that is a nice little gathering. They have a stage at their house. They have a rehearsal room, which is a barn, which they reconditioned very professionally, and then outside they have a stage that looks like the Wildcatter stage
It does.
in Katy, and
Yeah.
it looks that's sort of exactly what it reminds me of. And I'm
Yeah.
like, my God, yeah,
That
so-
was the influence for building it. Was
Really?
the stage at the Wildcatter. When we were talking about originally building the thing, of course, you fellas know my father. He's a very 100% or 0% kind of guy,
Yeah.
and he was like, I love that stage, but I hate how it's like in the corner. Like he hated
Yeah.
how it was like kind of jostled and like faced in a like
Oh,
almost
yeah,
a
yeah.
diagonal rather than straight on. And so he was like, I want to copy that, but just do it flat. And I was like, all right,
Yeah.
that seems like
Well,
a
no,
good plan.
it reminds me of the outdoor. Well, they both outdoor.
Oh,
but
I
the
guess
big,
yeah, I see
the
what
one
you
on the
mean.
other
the one on
side.
the other
It
side.
reminds me of the
Absolutely.
big stage. That's what every time I see
Across the canal, they have the single
Yes,
one out
yes,
there.
that
Yeah.
one is 100% the inspiration for the stage. So
I forgot
Yeah.
about that stage.
yeah, I was gonna say they usually don't use it, but now you fellas talking about the
For a
the
while there,
shows.
they were using it for a lot of big shows. but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
It seemed like they scaled back on that a while.
I think it's a lot of work for them to
It
haul all
is.
the gear across the river
It is.
and get the sound equipment out there and everything.
If the
but
show is big enough, they'll run it there still. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's got to be a big enough show to
gotta
do
be
it.
good
there.
incentive.
Yeah,
But
but
we started doing those as like a regular thing now. We make our Halloween show a yearly event, and
Yeah.
so it started to take its legs and grow, and so it's a really fun time.
That's cool.
now y'all have come quite the way since we've talked to you last. Y'all have
Done touring.
well, yeah, that, but they're also you started working with somebody new on recording your music too.
That's right. Yeah, we've been working with Will Turpin of Collective Soul up at
Wow.
Reel to Reel Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. That's been really fun.
We call it Atlanta GA down here, man.
Oh yeah, Atlanta GA.
Sorry about that, Yankee Wyoming boy.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
why 307 is the name of the band. They came
right.
from Wyoming.
that's right.
Except for us. He
Except
he's
for me.
one-
Except for Josh.
Born and raised in Houston.
there
Oh
you
wow,
go.
H-Town.
Yep.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, we started in September down there, and we've been, just working. We've been working really diligently to just make sure that all the tracks are as close to our vision as possible. Just, really, really fine tweaks. We'll go mix to mix, and it'll be like the slightest difference, but we want to make sure that it's 100% by the time it comes out. And the one we're working on right now is it's very go fast. We keep making the analogy of like a drag strip. Like it is as fast as we can go for 2 minutes straight, just
Okay.
nonstop. And then Momento Mori came out in February. That was the first single release that we've been working with those guys up there. And that one's more it's single coded. Like it is exactly what a single would be, I guess you could say. It kind of encapsulates everything that our sound is, if you will. That's kind of what I think. What about you guys?
I mean, like with Memento Mori, I mean, going from what we used to do, being that kind of, punk rock, still fast, but, not as heavy. And like when we first started doing Memento Mori and we first started playing, I was like, this is going to have the perfect combination of what we used to do, kind of like that, punky, little bit pop in it, but still have that kind of heavy groove into it. And then, the new stuff that'll be coming out is, the rest of it and just straight heavy.
Yeah, we get heavier and heavier as these songs come out. You'll see it's kind of a, like he said, it's kind of a transitional from our Nowhere Land.
Is it just higher tempo or heavier,
Yes.
all of it? Okay.
It's both. Yeah, it's both.
Nice. Okay.
Between a mix of like lower tuning, the occasional breakdown
Yeah.
and kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And kind of that more grungy feel.
Yeah.
So
I love
Yeah.
Nowhere Land, man. I'm a huge fan of that, and I guess a big part of that is because of I love harmonies, and I love the way that the two brothers bounce off themselves, and Russ doesn't help at all. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm so glad that you actually said that. I wanted to make an honorable mention about that. So with this new album, some of the experimentation that we tried to do with kind of the simplicity of the pop punk that we did before, we kind of went from like your older brother's garage band in the 90s that was just kind of like playing around with some simple major chords to now. Funny enough that you say Josh, because he, in one of the tracks on this album, I won't reveal the name yet, but he basically sang all the parts other than just the main vocal. I'm not making that up. Him and Brian sat in the studio. Brian Collins, shout out to him, amazing dude, amazing ear. Sat in the studio and he had this idea that he wanted to like almost make a Queen song with 307.
Okay.
And I won't say any more than that, but Josh put that song on his back and carried it all the way through. And so we're super proud of like how far he's come. And of course on his drum composition too. Like this
it's
guy
always
way
been,
stepped
yeah.
out of his box and started to experiment hard. And so we were all about that.
Wait, the song that Josh sings is now called Beth, is it?
No.
Anybody get that?
No, I don't. I think that joke went over all of our heads.
Kiss, the drummer, sang one song. It was called
Oh, I do know the joke now. Okay.
All right, yeah.
But yeah, no, like I said, Josh really wasn't, and this is no offense to him at all, but he really wasn't a singer. He didn't really know what to do. And Brian was like, that doesn't matter. Just get in there and we're going to try it. And dude pulled through like really, really hard. And so these tracks are not only going to be fast, loud, and in your face, but they're also going to be intricate stories that we've kind of put together of experiences that we've all had.
it was definitely a shock when they told me like, can you do a little bit of vocals? I'm like, I could try.
But you've done vocal. I think you had the Farm Fest, or one of those things that you did vocals once.
Yeah. So, and not to kind of spoil anything. So there is 2 songs that I'll actually have vocal parts in. I'm not gonna say the names yet because gotta keep it. We gotta keep it on the low.
Truth.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big secret is out though. I do have a vocal part as a drummer. I'll be doing both at the same time on stage.
Pulling a Phil Collins.
No, literally.
Or
Or
Don.
who's the guy that does that?
or
I was like,
Don
who's that
Henley.
guy?
But it's between the 2 songs that I do have vocal parts in. They do fall kind of more in the heavy section, but 2 polar opposite songs. You have one that, is going to be a little bit more smooth, a little bit more melodic, some harmonies, and then the other song is just like a complete pull your hair out, a little bit more wild. And even then, like that was when we first did it and we first started recording it, I didn't even know the song until we went to the studio that day. And I learned it on the spot and we're like, man, we really would like some cool, this specifically cool part in this song. And I was like, well, let me try to do it. And I went to the studio and first take, we're like, everybody kind of looks at each other and we're like, do it again. And it kind of went up from there. And now we've made that a pretty prominent part in one of our new songs. And it's so much fun.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a. I couldn't remember. I said, was it Russ or Donovan? Which one of them is sang before? Could I remember? But now I remember specifically how Jordan M said, no, Donovan never sings. Yeah,
No, he does on one song. The And you.
Okay. But like I said, we love Donovan to death. We love Donovan to death. We love him.
I want to say that, yeah, his own band told me that, so it's no bad. Yeah.
But yeah.
But now I know the rest of the story. Okay. That's good, man. So we're going to release as single.
No. So our ideal plan, and I guess this is where I can kind of go into. I'm okay to reveal the album name because we've had it in production for a very long time, and if you look at our Instagram, it's actually been in the description of every single post that we've had for the last year. But the album's called Please Stand By because we tend to always just tell people it's coming. Like just wait.
God knows I heard that before.
And
yeah.
it's one of those double-edged swords because you want to get music out to people and you want them to hear it as soon as possible, but then at the same time you're like Josh was saying, you have to make sure it's in the right realm of sound and in the right realm of, is this saying what we want it to say before we're even comfortable with putting that out. So our release order that we're hoping to do is we had Momento Mori come out in February, and it's taken us a little longer than we thought, but we want Cut for Time to come out this month before this month is over. And then we're hoping to have the full album release on the back end of that.
Good deal, man.
God. Sorry, I just got out of the hospital and I'm taking a bunch of medication, and so I got alarms for everything. But yeah, that's all I got to say. I'm gonna let somebody else talk.
Or you're not going to include a speech on the importance of hydration?
Well, I mean, you can always have a good hydration, but it always comes better if it's from a Wild Gear cup. Shout out Wild Gear.
See,
A little bit of a 307 Wild Gear cup, but
there you go.
But
There's
no,
a plug.
it's going to be a fun time, and it's the biggest artistic expansion I think 307 has ever done, and it's going to tell a whole new story and kind of tell our coming of age, if you will. We've kind of changed and matured, and the songs that we like to listen to even outside of our stuff is very different than what it was when we came out with Nowhere Land, and so it's going to be a new taste for everybody, and some are going to like it and some may not, but we're proud of it, and we're very proud of where it's going to go.
And I can say this about Kellen. He's got the same name as the former Boise State and failed quarterback, Kellen Moore.
Yes. Dallas
But-
Cowboys coach.
Yeah, now I think he's the Saints head coach. Is he? No,
He is. He moved.
That's a lot better than the
I know. I was like, not our coach. Oh wait, I think he is.
Yeah.
But but Kellen's vocals after the rehearsals, we'd have a dinner or something like that. We'd get together, and he did the cover of the song that is it Botticelli or whatever. I can't.
Andrea Bocelli?
Andre.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The
the
blind.
cover.
Yeah. The
Andrea
Andre
Bocelli.
yeah. The wine mixer song where it's all operatic, and man, he sings it in Latin on point. And I was like, oh Jesus Christ, man, this is something to see because it's just very beautiful, and you just would never ever think it. But no, that means
I mean, he's a vocalist.
he's
so-
very talented as
Right,
a
I mean-
vocalist. Yeah.
big old air quotations for vocal.
Vocalist. Yeah. But no, so he's got some skill. He's got some
He's got
game.
the crooner in the pocket.
That's right.
That's cool, man.
It's funny, even as a drummer, like I'll notice things about, how he sings and all that, and just basic vocal stuff. And we'll do our practice and we'll have, rather be Momentum or one of our new stuff that's more heavy. And then we'll do like our random karaoke nights, and he'll go up there and pull out like Frank Sinatra or Andrea Bocelli. And we're like,
That's
where
cool.
the heck did he just pull that out from? Because it's nothing like what we do.
Yeah.
Not even the covers that we do. And he just belts it out. And we all have to remember, oh yeah, he was a choir nerd for a while.
Yeah, and he's coaching vocals, so
He
it
also
all-
is coaching vocals.
It makes sense to have some
Have a knowledge base.
have some good tenors and stuff like that are in your sound book, man. That's always a
He's going through it, just killing it, and like in the little breaks in between, he's like, "Oh, this is so high. Oh, like poor me, my vocals," and it's just like slaying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He tries to get the sympathy out of us. Like, dude, you're fine.
You're
You're fine.
better than all of us. We know.
it's only 3 members in the band. Everybody's got to carry their weight.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as like teaching the kids and stuff, I mean, I've never had something that has given me so much more push to better my vocals and better my technique is to pass it on to these kids. I teach 3 and Grayson has 1 now and he's building that repertoire, but we have some amazingly talented students that are like vocal prodigies. I have a young girl, her name's Everly. I'll give her a huge shout out. She's like barely 9. She's about to be in like 4th grade or 5th grade, and she's like full on nailing Paramore, Alanis Morissette, No Doubt. Like it doesn't even phase her. Like she doesn't get tired or anything. I think I heard her voice crack once.
Wow.
Well, that's
But-
the good thing as a girl. Her voice will never horribly alter like we keep waiting for what's his name? What's the young prodigy?
Oh, Michael.
Michael.
Our boy Michael. We
Michael.
love him.
Michael
Yeah.
Dudka.
He's so talented, man.
Oh yeah.
He has made me step up the game on guitar, and this is where I turn to Rob too, especially as a Schecter player. Like I've been really trying to expand guitar sounds and the way that we use guitar in our songs, because Nowhere Land, it was just how hard can you hit this power chord, and how little chords can we fit in this song and make it sound like a radio rock song. And now I'm like, I've been really listening to the Avenged Sevenfold discography. I've got all my pickups and everything switched to sound that way, and everything's just taking a way more melodic turn. We're trying to really incorporate like depth and feeling, and because Nowhere Land was a great EP and it was a great first impression for 307, but at the same time it was very scratching the surface. Like it was very much just like a trial, and it was kind of in the opposite way of Please Stand By. It was very rushed. We tried to just slap it together and get it out there. So that's why we've taken so much time.
But y'all did it, and it was a step, in your process, and it's a journey anyway, right?
You got to start somewhere.
So, yeah,
and so-
exactly.
But that's kind of one thing that I know, like I said, definitely Rob and I relate to is Schecter everything
Well,
now.
I don't play Schecter, but
I thought you played Schecter.
I don't, because they have active pickups, and I don't like
That's
active
right.
pickups.
Well, I had passives in my Omen until I switched them for actives. But
I got
I'll
I got the
digress.
Paul Reed Smith.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're a PRS guy. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? Just as much respect.
But
for
you know
PRS,
what?
though.
That right there, that guitar, that's my go-to, my Strat.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say I'm not skilled enough to play a PRS, so I'd be embarrassing
No,
myself if I
you'd be
bought
fine.
one. But
You would actually enjoy the tone of it.
I like Santana,
And,
and Santana is always on a PRS.
yeah.
So, but like I said, it's just.
If you ever want to sit and talk,
I definitely
gear, I'd
do.
love to do that.
I want to hear about that because
Yeah.
I like I said, I was Fender everything. Growing up, it was just the simple go-to.
Yeah.
And then I started to get into some Frankensteining work, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to switch some pickups and stuff. And then I played a Schecter Omen for the first time, and I was
Yeah.
like, whoa.
no,
this
they're
is-
great guitars for what they are, but
This is like a different world for me, and I was stepping into
Yeah.
a whole nother use for guitars, and I feel like our sound is definitely for the better from the amount of evolution we've done in our tech and our gear. So,
a lot of that can be cured in a good producer.
oh, of course,
setting.
Of course. And once again, with Will, Brian, Jonathan, all those guys at
yeah.
Reel to Reel, man, they are infinitely experienced
Yeah.
in what we're trying to do. And like I said, with Will having all the experience from Collective Soul, kind of
Yeah.
knowing not only what we want to do and what we want to hear, but what the people would want to hear.
Yeah.
What people would really relate to and feel in these songs. And so it's been an experience, but it's one that we're definitely going to come out of the back end way more sound and way more creative than
Just
we were before.
getting growth from it.
Absolutely.
it's awesome.
Just growing.
Yeah.
It kind of helps to be able to have a brother who you can sing harmonies with too.
Yeah,
which
you
is-
guys sound great together. Always.
Thank you. Yeah, Kellen and I, we've been. I mean, he was in choir a little bit before me, but as soon as I was able to join in that junior high school level, I joined in, and then we've just been, we've been singing together for years and years and years.
Blood harmonies, you can't beat it, right?
You can't beat them. Yeah, exactly.
Also, shout out Miss or Mr. B. Like you have to start and be taught by
Yeah.
somebody, and I've never met
Absolutely.
people that care more about their kids. That's why I'm a teacher now. Is like I've never met
That's
somebody
awesome.
who cares more about seeing their kids succeed and seeing their kids have a love for music. I've
That's
never
cool.
seen more passion for music than in their choirs.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys started out with a Hanson cover band years ago. Oh wait, no, I'm just kidding. I just looked at me like, wait, what?
Strip all their credibility
Yeah,
out.
no, I'm just kidding.
Jeez, dude.
Shout out to Hanson, no problem with you. Yeah. But no, the brothers, yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, we
And,
we keep running the comparison between our last album and our new album, but I mean of course because it's where we were and now it's where we are.
Yeah.
The last one, it was a lot of simple, straightforward thirds and fifth harmonies, and now it's kind of more complex than that on this new one. And for the people who don't know, I think Donovan actually put it the best when we were at his house on Sunday. He was like, I just love when the vocals are like, want to use here, like down here, and then want to use like up here, and it like locks, and we're like,
Yeah.
we're going for like the brain scratcher, just like the super close harmonies. Yeah, exactly.
And that's all happening natural. That's what's cool about it,
Yeah,
You're not having to tweak that much to get that. you know?
right.
it's just hitting, right?
Yeah, and you know, we've got a very good timbre in our voices that just fit together really well. Whether it be I'm on a higher part, Kellen's on a lower part, or vice versa. And now we're getting Josh kind of tweaked into that of, okay, well, you sing here, we'll sing around you, or you know, you sing below us, and we just, you know, of course, you're newer to singing, so we have to, you know, really make
I'm
sure
still
that you're
learning. There's no doubt about that.
Got to make sure you're where you need to be, but you know, we know how to take those steps, especially like Kellen said, we teach. And we've been taught for years and years. And yeah, so Kellen's got, like he said, 3 students, and I've got the one now on my own, but I also work at a music school and I teach a number of students. There are a lot more younger kids that just, you know, they want to come in, they just want to sing. And I actually like that more because I don't want to, you know, confuse them with all this theory and all this stuff.
Yeah.
If you just want to come in and sing, let's sing, you know, I'll show you the basics and then you can kind of expand on that. So yeah, we love singing. We love teaching people how to sing. It's just like, you know, it's kind of like when you do a really complicated math problem and you get that aha moment of like, oh, okay, this is how you do it. Like that's how we kind of view singing.
Well, that's cool that y'all let the drummer kind of get some of that too, though, because so many bands would be like, no,
Yeah, absolutely not.
not happening.
Yeah, I'll give Josh a little bit of credit too. He just, for somebody who hasn't been chorally trained or anything, he's got a real good ear for it.
That's
and
cool.
a lot of the stuff that we are timid and afraid to sing. We're like, all right, well, Josh will sing it. And
That's
he
awesome.
Just
yeah.
kills it.
There's a little hint to one of our new songs. There's a little
Okay.
hint.
And these 2 guys, you know, not everybody could fit into a band with the 2 brothers and one other, and they are like 3 brothers together. You 3 do a great job
I
together.
mean, a 3-piece is already hard enough anyways, and then y'all adding all those extras in, you know, from each one of you.
You know, it's funny you say that about brother. Funny, not funny. I mean, it's going from, going for about 6 months without playing any sort of music and then getting the call from Kellen, not knowing who the heck he was. He had heard about me from another group that I was in years ago. And I was like, just mind blown to the fact that I'm like, I could be potentially playing live again one day. Like, this is awesome. And that was over 3 years ago now. And it's, you can't even describe it. It's like a second family to me.
Yeah, y'all
Every
are
time we have
y'all are very
practice,
interlinked, and
and
also your parents are great friends and great support network y'all have behind all of y'all too. You know,
Yes, absolutely.
both sets of parents are fantastic.
Eternally grateful to them for you know, changing their lives to fit what we want to do.
Good
and
knows
just-
that's true, man.
Yeah, there's quite a few local bands who had like some of the coolest parents I've ever
Yes.
seen in my life.
Yeah, and
Yes.
you know, I'm very timid to you know, toot my own horn, but for my parents, 100%, they're the best out there. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
there's no better support crew. Every Wednesday we practice, and it's like having a family reunion every Wednesday. We get his parents out, and then we get our parents out. And my mom, of course, always makes this big meal for all of us.
I'm about to say, shout out to your mom for the food.
Yes.
'cause
That woman can
Lord.
cook, man.
She
That's
can
all.
cook.
Yeah.
yeah, and
And she cooks for 400 every time. So
yes,
No, literally.
yeah.
So they used to have a ski resort, and my mom would run the kitchen.
That's right.
Oh, I
she
didn't
told
know
me
that.
that.
And
Yeah.
so, so she's like, I don't know how to make small quantities. She's like, everything
Okay.
I make in pounds. So
Well,
She
that
comes
makes
over with
sense
like
then.
these big 2-foot long pans. We're like, okay, I guess the whole neighborhood's coming over.
Yeah.
All the neighbors.
And I'm used. Yeah, and I'm
Usually they do.
yeah, I'm used to cooking for like, you know, bands and big groups that come through from my culture, and like if one of them is coming over to do something at my house, you know, I've cooked meals for them, but no, they're gonna go back to mom's and have mom's got a hot steaming pie on the window for them. That woman can bake too, man. Yeah,
And what you know what's funny though? These guys come from Wyoming, right? But then their dad and their buddy,
Our buddy. Literally
came
our
to watch
buddy.
came to watch my show one time, and Buddy's like, dude, we went to school together. And I'm like,
Did
what?
you and Buddy go to school?
We did.
Really?
yeah, that was funny. We
Yeah.
found that on the podcast, didn't we?
No, I found that out at Acadia actually.
Okay, I thought we had found
Oh,
that. I was
man.
like,
Rest in
wait a
peace,
minute.
Acadia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we missed that place, huh?
Oh man,
that
I
was
really
such
do.
a great sound, and lights were so cool
It
there.
was the start. It was
Yeah.
the starting place for like if you wanted to be a Houston band, you had to play Acadia.
Yeah,
like
it was-
everybody played Acadia. And it
I
was
want to
just-
say that's where y'all met me. But I was in my old group.
Well,
Really?
so going back to the story on that, we worked with this old, and I was going to talk about Buddy a little bit, but I'll jump back to that in a minute. We went to a vocal school with a very talented man named Tom McKinney, and he had this vocal school that I was actually in. Grayson and I were in with Josh's old lead singer, or one of the old lead singers of his band. And I remember after we had gone to the point where we were like, okay, we need to look for new band members, I remembered seeing them, and then I remembered that the young lady that I knew moved to California. So I figured they weren't playing anymore. I asked her, what do you think? Like, how was your drummer when he was with you guys? Like, was he any good? And she said he was one of the best. And I see now she completely was not lying. Like, Josh is by far one of the best drummers in the Houston scene, if not the best in the Houston scene. Like, I truly would put his drum parts up against anybody, and it's stellar. But we picked him up about 3 years ago, like he said, and it was one of those things where we were like, we'll bring you in and we're just going to jam some songs and see what we think. And we played our first song, and my dad was like, he was giving me the nods. Him and I communicate with our eyes when I'm playing on stage, and he was immediately like giving me the nods. And so we knew we had something good there. And then jumping back to Buddy, still on the same page of Josh, like Buddy is almost like a second dad to all of us.
Yeah,
because
he's there all the time with you guys.
He jumped in on the show. You know, I knew him from the past, and I knew his daughter, and then he jumped on and was like, I love hanging out with you guys and doing the band stuff. And he always wanted to do that when he was young. So then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I bought this Marshall amp. You should play through it. And then next day he's like, hey, I bought a Ludwig kit. You should play on it. And then pretty soon, like, he fell into almost kind of Josh's drum tech spot. Like, he is so good at coordinating with Josh and getting the kit set up. Like, that's his thing, and he loves to do that. And so he really is
a good dude.
He's our buddy, but he's
100%.
way more than our buddy, man. He is like I said, he's like a second dad, man.
That's awesome.
He loves us so much, and we love him. And like I said, our crew wouldn't be as good as it is without him.
Yeah. We are, no doubt. Like, and it's funny, or not funny, but like, we've had people come and like, oh Lord, like, this is a young 3-piece band, like they're gonna take forever to get set up on stage. I'm like, no, I think our longest setup time was maybe 4 minutes.
Yeah.
No, your dad and Buddy like kill it, man.
Well, that's the thing. Dad's immediately like mixer, and we're like setting up our own gear, and then Buddy's over there helping Josh with all the stuff that takes longer. So like, it's perfect. And like he said, we have our changeover down to a science.
Yeah.
And
we were just talking to Garbage Girlfriend and
Great gals.
talking about Vince Marino.
Oh, Vince is awesome.
He's the I said he's the Jim Moore of Katie.
He really is. Well, and you look at that. You look at Vince with the sound knowledge, and you look at Trezana with the management, and like they have such an awesome group too. And so it's so awesome to see that it's not just us. You know what I mean? And like you were kind of saying earlier, Rob, this scene is very different than any music scene you read about or you see in the movies. You know, a lot of people like to reference California's music scene, and it's very hostile. Even working with Danny, he told us that. Danny Saber, he was like,
cutthroat.
if you saw somebody walking down the street with a Clash record and you were a Van Halen fan, like you guys didn't get along,
right?
And so you come to Houston, and it doesn't matter if you're death metal or pop punk or pop or it doesn't matter. Like, people are all supportive, and they all just want to see everybody succeed. Yeah. And so if any producers, or like I said, if we got, here's hoping, if we ever do manage to strike that match and get going, and somebody gets a hold of this podcast or any of our material, the Houston scene, man, it is an oil well that has not been tapped yet. And
well, they had some older bands, but I think right now you have 3 bands we just recently talked about, you know, with Y'all Lucid and Garbage Girlfriend, but there's a few other bands out there. There's a very good trek of young bands coming through right now.
Thrower, Rosie.
I just heard Shasti. I haven't heard of them.
Shosty's great. Those guys are awesome. We just played with them. We just played with them the first time like a couple weeks ago.
I haven't. Thrower, I met them when I was with Drowning Pool. I think they were doing something with. I think Paul manages them.
I think it was. Yeah, Paul manages those.
And they
guys.
were running with Saliva, of course.
Yeah. And like I said, Isaac's one of those dudes I would put on par with my vocals. Isaac's one of the best vocalists in the Houston scene that I know. And like we were talking about Rosie too, Zoe and Molly, those guys are awesome. Eris and Brandon are some of the best guitar players and bass players I've seen in my life. Like, those guys are so good.
Yeah,
they're definitely fun to watch.
100%.
It's like I haven't seen Shelsty yet, but I've heard the name like 15, 20 times. Like, okay.
They're blowing up right now too. Their social medias are looking real good. They've got their shows are full every time.
Wow.
They don't have a show that doesn't have a crowd. Like, it doesn't exist. And so, like I said, and Meg is the lead singer, and Dylan the drummer. They're all so good and so talented, and we played with them at Hunter's Pub, and we kind of stepped out of our box and kind of went to the cover band route, and like tried to play some old stuff that like we hadn't played in a long time, and we played like some Offspring and some Green Day and like stuff that we hadn't played in forever. But those guys, man, they nailed it. They were killing it.
And shout out to Dylan. He was my old percussion teacher in middle school, funny enough.
And let you use his kit.
He let me use his kit too.
But yeah, those, like I said, the Houston scene is just, it is unreal how many people are not only so talented and so creative, but so supportive.
Yeah.
I've never seen more support.
And if they're not, they should be.
Yeah, no kidding. And if you're out there being toxic,
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I just do the whole shake my head when I hear somebody say something really dumb. You're like, why?
Why?
Yeah.
What like it almost takes more effort to be malicious. Like,
I
you're
know,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're talking about
Just be nice, people.
on our last episode. I dropped a hint at Rob hadn't seen it yet. I said, what a band doesn't want to go do is get too full of himself or write something on a wall at a bathroom.
I was just about to bring that up.
I don't even
Yeah.
know what band it was. We don't have to.
I'm
mention
not even
it.
gonna. I don't even know their name, but I was literally about to make the same point as you. Just like disgusting. Like, what are you doing? That's
Man.
not sending any message
like-
other than, "Hey, we're assholes." Like,
Yeah, never hire us again. And
no, you
And
won't get another show.
And you know as well as I do how many club owners know each other and they talk, or sound guys. Yeah, like
Your reputation is everything. It really is.
It
And
is.
it's not like those guys are cool or those guys are lame. It's those guys are dicks and those guys are super nice. Like, you want to be the nice guys.
Right.
and it's a bunch of really good bands. And how do you want to stand out like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy that, because like I said, I don't even know who it was, but they got put on blast by like a ton of people. And
Wow.
Yeah, I
it's
saw that.
it's something as simple as that. I actually remember we had an incident one time. It was at an old bar called Tuts, and it was not malicious in any way, but they had these Sharpies that they would let you write on the roof in the main part of the bar. You know, you could do your love memorial, or like 307 was here or whatever, but we took that as you could write anywhere in the bar, and we were just dumb. I was like 14 when this happened, and we went in and we had some paint markers and we tagged their bathroom like super
It
hard.
was so bad.
It was nothing malicious, but it was just like really dumb 14-year-old boy
Yeah.
stuff that we were just writing in there. And like I drew a clown face on the mirror and stuff, just trying to be edgy, right? And the next day we got a call from the manager and he
Oh,
was
crap.
pissed.
Would your dad have you down there with a bucket
Well,
of
he
paint?
did. He was like, "You guys are going down there and you're going to fix that." And I was on the phone with the guy. I think his name was Charles. Charles. And I was on the phone with him and I was like, "Man, we are so sorry. Like, that's not who we are as a band. We were just trying to be edgy and we thought. He was like, "Dude, it was okay. We loved your guys' show. We just were not happy, and we wanted to make sure that you guys weren't trying to do this to send us a message, but we got it taken care of. And we tried so hard to get them to let us help.
Yeah.
And like, let us come in and do it. We feel terrible. But those guys, they really did us a huge solid, and we're like, "It's okay, guys. We understand."
You learned from it.
Yeah, and
cool.
So going back to that, the incident at 19th hole, because it happened at the 19th
Oh,
hole,
okay.
it was just unnecessary. It's gross look.
You probably shouldn't read in those bathrooms anyway, right?
Well,
Just saying.
as much as what this was written is no way you could have seen it from Mars.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah, it was a whole door.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, there was no little corner scribbling. Yeah, I saw
That's
that.
weird. I didn't hear about it.
See, that was all before my time. Like the only thing I see right now, especially between like, even though Acadia is not around anymore, but like even at BFE, everybody just puts their stickers everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a band sticker or some sort of memorabilia of a band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere, rather be
Yeah.
BFE or like I said, Acadia. Concert Pub was kind of like that too. Rest in peace, Concert Pub North.
Yeah, there was a place next to Curtain Club in Dallas, in a restaurant, and I'll never forget. In fact, it's in my favorite photos. I have like my driver's license or my insurance. There's maybe 10, 12 photos in my phone, or pictures of maybe one picture of my kids, my wife, my parent, when I was a kid. So maybe there's 20 pictures in there and I have like, everybody's got 5,000 pictures, but there's one picture of a wall in the thing, and it's in the bathroom at this place that was next to Curtain Club. And I'll never forget it because it says "fake ass homie," and that's like ever since then. Like if somebody would give me trouble, I'd send that to him. And I was like, "Here you go, buddy." Yeah, so
That's
funny.
homie. That's funny.
it really happened.
It's like a backhanded compliment. Like you're fake. And
Fake
then
ass
fake
homie.
ass, and then
Homie.
homie.
Yeah.
Fake ass homie. Yeah, just something that here it is, everybody.
Oh my
Oh
god.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, just never forgot that. It was so unique. I had to take a picture of it.
You're
Perfect,
reading and
too.
taking photos
And
in
that
the
was
bathroom.
just yeah. That was in the bathroom. You said.
Yeah, but and Rob, that picture caught my eye because it was funny and it was big. It's nothing in size compared to what those idiots did the other day at the 19th hole. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I used to love the 19th hole. I can't go now because it's smoke.
Smoke.
So
Yeah, you would think in this day and age.
you would
And
think.
look, we love
Yeah.
all y'all out there, but yeah, just smoke, man. It's so easy. Just, hey, here's an outside section. Go smoke.
But they get people that go there because they can smoke. Because there's so many bars now that you can't smoke.
BFE just recently, like a few years ago, they stopped that, didn't they?
Shout out to them for it.
Yeah.
BFE
Shout out to
did,
BFE.
yeah.
Because I know Acadia was still a smoking bar.
Yeah, whenever I started going back out, they would do the no smoking nights for me.
Oh,
So I could
Yeah,
play
they
there.
would.
awesome.
They would, yeah.
So then I think Justin Whitfield actually said one time, you guys should do it. That's the best decision I've ever made.
Oh yeah,
And
like
then
I said,
right
huge-
after that, they did that.
huge kudos to BFE for that because it's not that they had to. They used to be a smoking bar, but then I remember we talked to Frankie and Shane one day. Shout out to all the BFE crew, Frankie, Shane, Bill, all those guys. But we talked to Frankie and Shane, and Frankie was like, I'm tired of my bar being dirty. He was just tired of it. And so they redid the whole thing. All their seats and everything are redone. And it's been BFE is like leagues nicer than it used to be. And it's so nice when we are like, yes, we get to play BFE.
Yeah,
and it's not
it's
going to
very
make me choke
comfortable.
on my own
Yeah.
voice. Like, yes.
It's
Things
comfortable.
come, things come and go, but BFE will always be here.
Eternally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eternally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your BFE Rock Club cap on right
That's
now.
right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Shout out
Sporting
to
it.
BFE.
Nice. Okay, boys, we got music that we just can't talk about yet, but it's coming.
But you
It's
got some
coming.
upcoming shows, I heard.
Yes.
Speak to us of the shows.
You want to go?
So July 4th, we are having a show at our place. It's funny enough. Speaking of that stage, we are going to have, it's going to be a couple of our vocal students. And then we're also playing with Noisegate and us, of course. We've got fireworks. We've got pyro coming out for the show. Yeah, it's going to be wild. There's a couple, if you go on our Instagram and stuff, we've got the flyer up. There's also just a couple ground rules. It's mainly just like, don't bring a gun.
Yeah.
Don't bring
Don't bring your own fireworks.
Was-
Like we'll supply it.
Is Pyro, is that a Def Leppard cover band?
No.
Yeah.
Pyro meaning pyro. Like,
Yeah.
Anybody get that
Fire.
joke?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Pyromaniac.
But
Yeah, there you go.
and then going off of what he said, we have, I don't know if we have anything else in July, but then going into August, we have the last shred of summer with Garbage Girlfriend. Funny enough that we were talking about them. Garbage Girlfriend and a national band. I think they're from Missouri. And they're
yeah.
Primer. Their name is Primer. They're super talented guys. They actually remind me of like me and Grayson, but like if I had like 80s rocker hair and Grayson was 200 pounds heavier. Like he's so stocky and strong. Like these guys are like, they actually do a stage bit where he gets on his brother's shoulders. The guitar player gets on the bass player's shoulders.
Wow.
And like I look at
It's
Grayson
like
and I'm
if
like,
we
no way.
if we grew up on Ted Nugent and Leonard Skinner.
They're
like,
so good,
okay.
They're
too.
really good.
We did.
They're shredders, man. And then after that, we just recently announced we haven't announced it yet, but we do have a date coming up with Scotty Austin at Scout Bar, I
cool.
think October 12th.
Nice.
And then after that, of course, we're going to have the annual Farmhouse Fright Fest. And we're still waiting on some bands for that one, but the ones that we have confirmed right now, it's going to be a riot. It's going to be awesome.
And every year so far, I mean, we did the first one in 2023, and then this past year in 2024, and it was like a night and day difference.
So it just
between
keeps getting better?
Oh yeah, 100%.
nice.
It's like kind of it's almost kind of building this like because that's the whole reason with the goofy names that we do in Punk We Trust for 4th of July. We've got Farmhouse Fright Fest, Last Shredders. We do that because it almost kind of gives the shows themselves a personality, and so Farmhouse Fright Fest caught like wildfire. People love that idea.
It is fantastic.
It's so fun, and everybody like picks up in stride that like it's a costume thing. Like you come in costume and you're there to have a show and rock out.
Yeah, that's where we were there and we
They
talked
did
to
a podcast
everybody but
episode.
y'all.
Yeah, so
We've
that
also a little bit before that. We also have No Music, No Life.
oh yeah, right. Oh my god,
September, what is it? The 16th?
is that the date?
I think so.
We're terrible. We're so terrible.
We're bad with
We're terrible. But this is the 3rd annual No Music, No Life. It's put together by Steven Hansen, who is the dad of Donovan from Lucid Illusions. Well, and such an awesome event.
For suicide awareness?
Yes, suicide awareness through ASFP, which is the AFSP, which is the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And they do it proctored through them every year. And like I said, such an amazing event and puts a really good spotlight on not only a big issue, but these bands that care so much about this issue. Whether it be men, women, children, it doesn't matter. Everybody struggles with something. And we like to support that, and we like to tell people that you have a place that you can go. It doesn't matter how famous, how cool, how rock and roll you are. Like everybody is there to take care of each other.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
And so it's going to be an awesome event. This is the 3rd annual one. We've made it an annual thing for us every year. We participate.
I think Doug donated his drum kit last year.
Yes.
Yes.
We brought a Collective Soul guitar. All those guys up in Collective Soul, and I know we've shouted out Will already, but Ed, Dean, Jesse, Johnny, Will, all those guys are so nice and just so charitable. We asked them, hey, we're going to buy this guitar. We asked Will, would you take it up to your guys and sign it? And he was like, oh, I can do better than that. And they brought us back the guitar and their little album that they had signed. And we got
cool.
to give away so much stuff that was like a Collective Soul bundle.
nice.
And so eternally grateful to be able to bring something cool like that. And
love
not only
Collective
just
Soul.
they're
cool.
great
They're great,
guys.
yeah.
Great guys.
No.
Oh, we could
Yeah.
talk all about the
I know.
Louisiana trip that we took for those guys.
Oh,
We
man,
went and
that's some
saw
good
them at the
stuff.
Golden Nugget. Oh, they're so cool. We got to
They-
hang out
I bet
backstage.
that was
Oh,
so
you
awesome.
and me went broke.
Oh yeah, we got to keep us off the casino floor.
First time we ever gambled, and oh, good lord.
You learned a lesson.
First
there,
time
boys.
you ever gambled.
Oh,
I knew
yeah,
before
first
we
time I
went
ever
in. I was
gambled,
like,
yeah.
this is gonna be bad.
Yeah, I don't gamble.
So much fun, though.
Not
So much
anymore.
fun.
I keep myself to $100 limit at this point because
Yeah.
we learned our lesson.
I work too hard for my money.
But super fun, though. That was my first
That's
time
cool,
ever at a
man.
casino either.
And
So,
it was the concert was so cool because it's not an environment that I had ever seen before. You know, you think of a casino, you wouldn't think that they have like if they
Yeah.
have concerts there, it's like an Allman Brothers tribute band,
Yeah.
or you know, it's some oldies or maybe some classic rock. But then these guys come up there and they're putting on a full on rock show right above the casino floor, like it's one floor up. And like I said, meeting all the guys in the backstage. Jesse Triplett is one of the best guitar players I've ever seen in my life. Johnny Rabb has the best personality behind the kit that I've ever seen. Ed is Ed. Like he's got that lead singer.
Yeah.
He is just like an enigma. And then of course Will and Dean, like such a good rhythm section, and those guys have so much fun. They
And
enjoy
they're
it.
obviously cool dudes because y'all have a good relationship with them.
Oh
now.
yeah, like
they're
some of the
awesome.
nicest guys ever. Where they actually,
That's awesome.
They played their show that night, and there was a little club underneath that was like it was called like the Iceberg or something like that. It almost made me think of Batman.
It's like the blue martini.
No, was it the Blue Martini?
I think-
I don't know, but we asked them because obviously Will was going to come out and chat with us, and so obviously super grateful that he was going to come hang out with
Yeah.
us. But then he comes up and he's like, "Yeah, the rest of the guys should be." We go, "What? The rest of the guys are coming?" And sure as hell, Jesse, Dean, everybody but Ed came, and that was understandable. They told us Ed has his rituals that he takes care
Yeah.
of after the show. Completely get that.
Yeah.
But Jesse, Dean, Will, Johnny, all of them came, and they all sat and talked, and
That's
they just
awesome.
had such nice things to say, and they were so like, yeah, we've heard your guys' music, and it's super cool, and we love that young kids are starting to do this again, and
Yeah.
so Collective Soul definitely is always going to have a big chapter in 307.
That's very cool.
That show actually, funny enough. So a little fact about Golden Nugget: the concerts that they have upstairs, they're usually not all ages.
They're definitely not all ages.
So
not even
we got up there and they were checking IDs at the door, and we had special access and stuff. But I'm 19. I'm not 21. And so the staff, the security at the front, they were like, you can't come in. It's 21 plus event. So we're sitting there, texting Will rapidly, like, how are we gonna get him in? It's
shout out Cheney.
Yep. Shout out
Shout out
Cheney.
Cheney.
Is he their tour manager? Yes.
and former drummer.
And former drummer.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay.
He came and escorted me in and the rest of the guys. And then I sat backstage saying I was a bass tech for the show.
Oh, yeah, that's
The
right. I did hear
definition
that.
of playing the loophole game. We
Yes.
got you in as a bass tech, so we couldn't physically be on the floor with
That's
the
right.
audience. They said, okay, so we'll put him on stage with us.
They said,
So-
well, you can't be in here if you're not 21. And they were like, he's working. They're like,
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it is different.
Come
Yeah.
on in.
Well done.
Yeah,
Yep.
he got that call, and we're like, oh, crap, we're not going to be able to go. Like, obviously, if we go to a Collective Skull concert, no matter where it is, we want to bring Grayson with us, no matter what. He's a part of the band. He's just young, and Will literally say, he's like, give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Call me. He called us back, and we're like, he was like, we're getting you in as
That's
a bass
awesome.
tech. And that just shows how cool they are. I mean,
Yeah.
they wouldn't do this for anybody. And we got to the Golden Nugget, and obviously we're in contact with Will, and we're letting him know, like, hey, this is where we're at. And this is the problem that we just ran into. Like, we're trying to get Grayson. He's like, give me a few minutes. Let me send the tour manager down there. And he's communicating with us like nobody else would. He wouldn't do, like, this is not a normal
Yeah,
procedure.
he took his time out.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, had
And
your
he does
back.
that with us even when we go out and record and all that. Like, he doesn't just do that on a daily basis.
And,
Like,
and show day, it's hard, man, because a lot of moving
oh,
parts.
stressful.
behind the scenes,
Yeah. So, and we get off. Shaney, their old drummer, he brings us backstage, brings us to their dressing room and everything, and as if we'd met 1,000 times. Everybody's walking. Hey man, how y'all doing? Great to see you. We loved. Will was telling us all about y'all. Another shout out to Will. Like he talked us up in preparation that Collective Soul was expecting us there.
Of course, yeah, we know all of them, for just knowing Collective Soul for years and years. But then they also had a little bit of an idea of who we were because we've been working with Will, and that's kind of one of the great things about working with Will is he never really he never talks down to us, even though we're much younger and we haven't been doing it for 35 years.
We still have a lot to learn.
But he always knows that we bring value to the musical conversation, and we're pretty savvy in the business side of it, even for as young as we are. And that's something we really appreciate. Although we love to push the timeline, and we want to get our stuff out now, and we want to have it all out by the beginning of summer. And he's like, just wait. You'll get so much more out of it if you just
hold it. That was his exact word. Just hold your horses, guys. Yep, that's what he would always say. Just chill out. Trust me.
Yeah, and timing's everything. Well, with every business, right?
Absolutely.
You got to know when to release stuff, and
that's like I said. So
the
irony of the name of the album, "Please Stand By." That's kind of the story of our lives. Like we're always we always have kind of just told people to wait, and it's not that we want to make you guys wait. So anybody listening right now, 307 would drop the whole album right now if we could. Mm-hmm. But we understand that we do need to trust the process, and we need to trust what those guys have in mind, because another thing that hasn't been mentioned, Will not only is helping on these tracks, but then Momento Mori, I can say this, Momento Mori, the guitar solo and all the lead guitars was actually done by Jesse. And so he... Not only is Will taking this time and really putting effort into it, but Jesse too. It's not just about we're Collective Soul and we do our music. No, it's they are musicians. They wanna create.
Yeah,
and so we're eternally grateful to those guys.
That's awesome. It's a cool story.
What about we gotta wrap this thing up eventually? But I gotta know socials. Where can they get 307 at?
So. I'll go down the line and let you guys introduce one of our socials. But Instagram is official 307 Departure.
And Facebook is just 307 Departure.
Then we got YouTube, of course, is 307 Departure. You can pretty much Google us.
Google 307 Departure.
Yeah, and you'll find us.
Google's finally starting to give us it recognizes us as a musician / band.
Oh, cool.
Now it used to say singer forever, and now it says musician / band, and our discography's up there.
Cool.
Oh, and we have a TikTok now too.
Yeah, TikTok, same thing. Official 307 Departure. Yep. Josh is taking care of that right now, and he's doing an awesome job. We're trying to up the content for everybody. We're trying to really take a step forward and show that this isn't just we're not just slapping this together. This is something we put a lot of time and care into. I'm actually editing a video right now of our kind of behind the scenes of when we were in Atlanta, and it's going to be I think it's going to be a 3-part series, about 10 minutes of video of just clips of us dicking around in the studio and talking to each other and going to lunch and flying in the airport. And so we're trying to make it to where you guys get to come along on the ride with us. So,
that's important. These days, that's important, right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I know when I was younger and I was watching videos of Green Day and Avenged Sevenfold backstage, that was always way more fun to watch for me than the concerts. Of course, I love the concerts, but you get to watch these guys kind of goof around and be human and
the real stuff.
It humanizes your idols, and it makes them seem like they're not just robots up there doing that. They are people, and so it's going to be an awesome time, and we're really, really looking forward to getting it out there, and we thank you guys for letting us.
We're looking forward to hearing it.
Come and give these people the information, because we've kind of been radio silent on it. All we've ever said is just please stand by, and so I hope that this is one of the last times I say it before it is no longer waiting. But please
until then,
by.
we will stand by.
Yeah, please stand by. We are very close.
Don't worry, guys. We always got y'all.
We appreciate it, guys. Like I said, Nonsense Chronicles, you don't get better than this, guys. And doing this for the bands is so huge. You guys don't understand how nice it is to be able to come and give this information. So.
We love doing it, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, this has been the Nonsense Chronicles.
Wake up, Doug. You falling asleep over there?
No.
You don't.
No, never, man. I'd just say go out there and follow 307 on all their socials and give us a little like and a follow. And it's the Nonsense Chronicles, and we are out of here.
Best podcast around.
Heard it here.